Welcome to Section 2 of the Realtors of the Palm Beaches and Greater Fort Lauderdale MLS Compliance Training. Now we will begin to go over our most frequently violated rules: photo violations, status changes, square footage, address, tax ID and area number, rentals, driving directions, failure to report sales correctly, virtual tours, room dimensions, and private pools. Here are 3 photo rules to keep you in compliance. Rule number 1. Every listing needs one exterior front-facing photo, with the exception of land, commercial, and businesses, which do not require photos. Despite what many agents think, the exterior front-facing photo does not need to be the first photo on your listing. It only needs to be included somewhere within your photo compilation. Number 2, no contact info. No contact information of any kind can be contained within your photo. This includes a picture of your business card or a real estate sign in the photo. Rule number 3, no identifiable formatting of any kind is allowed. That includes frames or branded enhancements, as well as agent, company, or photographer watermarks. Status identification is the single most important qualifier used when searching for listings to match buyers and tenants with properties. Failure to accurately reflect the true status of a listing causes wasted time and money for listing agents and those looking to sell properties using our database. All listings should be updated within 2 business days of the change in status. I'm going to go over a couple statuses that are sometimes misunderstood. First, we'll go over the difference between backup, contingent, and pending. All 3 statuses indicate the property is under contract. The use of backup status is often misinterpreted. It is intended for when the subject property is under contract, but the seller is willing to accept backup offers. This status should be used when there is a kickout clause in place or any other informal agreement to continue accepting offers while the property is under contract. The buyer's approval is not required to place a listing in backup status because the seller is still obligated to the terms of the agreement they accepted. Contingent means there are contingencies such as buyer financing, HOA approval, inspection, and more. That needs to be fulfilled in order for the property to close. Pending means all contingencies have been met and the listing is awaiting closing. Temporary off-market is when the subject property is temporarily unavailable, whereas withdrawn is when the listing has been removed from the market. In both statuses, the owner agrees to abide by financial obligations as termed in the listing agreement. This means you cannot call or solicit listings in temporary off-market or withdrawn status. Listings can be placed in temp status for any number of reasons, including minor or major renovations, repairs, seller on vacation, etc. While the withdrawn status is used when a seller is indecisive on whether or not they want to sell the property, if there is a legal dispute, probate, or other factors. If you are a Flex MLS user, the withdrawn status is not yet available, but will be in the system soon. In both statuses, the property will automatically be converted to expired upon expiration. The living square footage of a residential property is one of the top criteria buyers use when evaluating listings. This is different from total square footage, which includes the garage, back porch, and more. If you have noticed a discrepancy between what is published in the property records and what you reasonably know to be true, we encourage you to enter the most accurate information and then clarify in the remarks, noting the reason for the discrepancy. For example, square footage is greater due to enclosed porch. To measure square footage, simply multiply the room length times the room width, and that will give you the room square footage. The property address and tax ID numbers entered into the MLS should be consistent with how they appear in the property appraiser records. The most common mistake is to enter the incorrect city. The city must be consistent with at least one of the two trusted sources, the property appraiser or the tax records. Rental listings can only be in the MLS for 1 year at a time. The system will not allow you to enter an expiration date greater than 365 days from the list date. If a listing is extended or renewed, then it must be entered as a new listing. If a property has a lease option, the rental listing can be updated to rented. However, the residential listing should be marked pending. If the option is exercised and closes, you update the status to closed. If the option is not exercised or it expires, the listing should be changed to canceled. The area number maps are updated from time to time to accommodate new communities or townships. When in doubt, check the overlays available in the MLS or on our website prior to entering the listing. You can find those resources at rapbgflrmerge.com/resources. Another common listing error is the lack of directions to a property. Directions should be given starting from the closest main highway or intersection. Avoid using the terms use GPS, see map, or MapQuest, or leaving the field blank. Reporting sales is a crucial part of the listing process. The most commonly entered errors are sales price and selling agent. Make sure you check the sold price for the correct amount of zeros before submitting the listing. Also, make sure you give credit to the selling agent. These are the agents that brought the buyer or tenant. Keep in mind, if the selling agent is part of a team, you may be asked to close the listing in the team leader's name. Thank you for completing Section 2 of the MLS compliance training. Please complete the quiz and proceed to Video 3.